Hello, CJ here at Nine Finger Gaming. Welcome back to Foundry. This is episode 6. In the last episode, we reboggled all of our base products, so our rods and plates, so that we're getting double the amount from the resources that we are mining. We then went to rebelt up all of this stuff over here for our Science 1, Science 2. What we're going to do today then, we're actually going to start on the Science 3. Now I'm going to need a couple of assemblers, and I've worked it out of what we're going to need, so we're just going to go through and start building. I'm just going to have to grab 8 of those. Right, so one thing we're going to need then, we're going to need around 120 rods per minute for wire to turn into electrical components. So we're going to start with the wire first. So we're going to have 2 assemblers level 2 for wire. What that will give us is the 120 each for the cable for wire coils from 60 per minute on rods. And then we'll have that go into another 4 assemblers, so that'll split into 4, and these will be for the electrical components. And obviously one of these can split between 2 of these, as it only requires 60 wire coils, and that will generate 30 per minute. We're going to do 4 of these, which will give us 120 per minute, and I believe that's going to be all that we're going to need for wires for the Science Pack 3. Now, we're going to be using a lot of Tier 1 assemblers as well. I don't think that we quite need all assemblers of Tier 2. As soon as we start getting more and more resources on the inputs, we could then potentially look to change that up. So we're going to want a splitter as well. Oh, that's actually a bit too close. So let's move these back 1 block. And we'll get these right here. So yeah, these are going to be for the wire, so we're going to need 60 for each one, which is 120. Obviously in these lines we are getting 80 per minute, so we can use 2 of these lines. It does mean that we're going to have a little extra, because we're going to be looking at getting 160 out of here. So we're going to need a output. Let's put both the outputs there and merge them both into one line. Oh, that missed. Let's get that in where we need it. So this is now a line of 160. Now we're not going to be splitting it down for equal shares. Obviously there is going to be a bit extra on the line, but we're not going to be too worried about that. So we're going to, oh, that's a bit too far forward. Let's take that one out. Yeah, we're not going to go for efficiency just yet, because eventually, once we're getting to a point where we can use all assembly Tier 2s, we're going to obviously change up the way that we do everything. So for now, these will get 80 each, which is obviously 20 more than they require. So there is going to be that little bit of excess that they're going to be receiving. So let's get that there. I suppose what we could have done, we could have split both these down, then took one of the splits, split that 2 to join them. Yeah, I think we will go for efficiency. There's no point in not doing it. I mean, we will have to change everything up eventually, but we may as well make sure we're getting the most out of the resources that we are producing currently. Let me just take those out for now. So yeah, instead of doing that, what we will do, probably split these up a bit. So if we take one output here, place that, thank you. And then we'll split this as soon as it comes out. So this will be a bolt of 40. Then this one will split again. And this will be a bolt of 20 and 40. So 2 bolts of 20, 1 bolt of 40. If we join that bolt back up, this will now be a bolt of 60. And then if we take this one here, so we're going to want point there. Well, we're going to want to split this one first, so we put that there. And then one there. And then we'll have that there. This one of 20 will join into there. This one of 40 will just go off. That will be our excess line. And then we'll have the output there. So that's going to come out, split to 40 each side. The 40 and the 20 will join together. And then we've got 2 bolts of 60. And we still got a 40 then that we could use elsewhere, which we may do in the future. I'm also going to want to move these over as best I can. In fact, what we could even do, let's get rid of that. We could technically merge the 2 bolts here. So then we'd be getting a line of 120. And then split the bolts off. Probably there. And then we'll have that one, which will be pushing 60, and this one, which will also be pushing at 60. Oh. So yeah, those 2 bolts now will be 60. This is going to be a 40 bolt, which we may have to bring that up eventually and bring it over the top of whatever we bring out of this one here. So they're now getting their 60 per minute, and why are they not going in? Because I've got outputs here. Let's get those on inputs, input, input. So they are now going to be generating 320 per minute on those. Then we're going to have a splitter there and a splitter there. We're also going to want inputs there, 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 and there. We're going to want an output there and there. Get our bolts, place those in. And these are all going to be set to electronic components, and they require a 30 per minute input on the wires. So let's get those all set up. And that does mean that 40 that we can use, because we're going to need 120. So 120 is going to be an 80 plus that extra 40 that we've got, so we can actually go ahead and use that right now. So we're going to want an output on here, and we could really do with bringing that this way, this way, this way. Bring both of them off this way. Merge them. That's now a bolt of 120. And now this one has got to come up here and split between the 4. So Gonna have to go upward. Let's go up. Thinking whether just take both of them, because technically they're going to be both split into 60s because the distribution belt. So if we did that, then we took this one this direction, we could then we need to split it and drop it. Let's say it start at this end and work our way back. So we're going to want an input on both of these and input there and there. Then we'll take those there, there, and there, and then we need slope down. Yeah, see, this is where we're going to then struggle for space, because we can't actually go over the top of one of them. So let's work out how we're going to do this. So if we went this way, because we can go over the top of these. I think we'll repeat that if we can fit it in. We won't be able to fit it in there. Right, let's think of another way that we can go about doing this. So, take those out a second. Take that out. Then we'll go around the back. So if we have those two splitting off, we bring one this way. In fact, we bring them both this way for now. And then one will come out this far. Can it pass up there? That's the question. Oh yeah, we can actually sneak it in right there. So, I did not want to take out that extra one. Yeah, we'll bring this to here. It needs to go one more out. Then we'll have this one step down. Yeah, it's definitely going to have to go further out, otherwise we're going to struggle with our other components. Right, so let's work this out. If we bring it out and come straight down from here, then this will make more sense. That's 2 blocks out. Let's repeat the same over here. So 2 blocks out. Because it's got to go down the side of here, still with that 2 block gap. Then this will come to here and to there, and then we'll do the same with this one. So this will come out to there, not that one, that needs to be rotated, and then come to there. And then we can take the inputs, those on there. Oh, we did actually want to split this. Yeah, the way that these pick things up, I do like to split them and have things individually placed in. Got it. So what we'll do, we'll place a splitter there with cable there and there, and then our inserter will be there, so that'll be the input there, that'll be the input for that one, and that's going to then split this rail between those two, so they should get distributed nice and evenly. So we only need to take that one out, and we want to take this one out, this one out. Yep, that's correct. Kind of want to keep it symmetrical both sides, so place that there, and we place one rail there, and then we need a intake, so that'll be the intake there. So they should then get the rails that they require, and then we can just join these up. So place that there, join that up to there, and then this one will join to here. That'll join up to there. So they are now going to get even distribution of what they require. So now it's just going to be a simple case of outputting. Now, we'll have these just output into a container for now. So let's just get ourselves one of these. Probably going to bring it out to this side here, so we're all going to converge onto this end here. And I'm going to want to in fact, we'll just hold off before we do that. So we've got the electrical components sorted. That's now producing for us 120 components a minute. Now, if we go over to here, have I not got any crafters? Are they in this one here? Nope. Where did I put those crafters? Did I put them in these boxes? Possibly. Not that one. No. Right, I did have a load of crafters somewhere. I'm not too sure where they've gone. I'm just going to go find those because I did. Oh, they're in here. There we go. I knew I'd got some somewhere. Just in case I'm finding them. Right, so if we have a look at this and get this on assembling science pack 3s, as you can see, 30 per minute. We're going to be generating for 4. So really, each one of those can individually output to each one of these. We then need advanced machine parts and ignium fuel rods. We're going to just generate ignium fuel rods in this one here. We're not going to go for the level 2 assemblers. So the fuel rods, they are going to have their own crafting recipe as well, which is going to take quite a few components just for those. The biggest one is going to be the pallets, as the pallets are going to take quite a lot of crushers. So let's start off with the crusher process then. Now with the crushers, we're going to want to have a bit of space here, as we're going to need 7 crushers just to generate the ignium dust, and we're also going to need another 7 crushers to obviously generate the pallets. And we're also going to need to generate a certain amount of the advanced machine parts as well. As you can see, they're used here in this one here. They're also used in one of these, I believe. I think it's the casing. We'll just double check that. So if we go over to here, go on the casing, yeah, it takes the 8 per minute for the fuel rod casings as well. Now look as it, we only need to generate 8 cases per minute, and this generates 8 cases per minute. So we're only going to need one of these for casings, one of these for the fuel rods. Where the big cost is going to come in is generating the extra wire coil. What we got here, yeah, so we're generating all those, but we're going to have to generate some extra wire coil for this component, which is just 80 per minute. which isn't going to be too difficult. I believe we could just do it in one of these. Yep, 80 per minute by using 40 rods. So it'll only take one of those to generate what we need for these. But then the pallets are going to be looking at generating a hell of a lot, because we need the pallets. We need 200 per minute. This only generates 300 per minute, so we're going to need 7 of these, which is going to net us an extra 10 per minute, but I'm not too worried about that. But to generate the 30 of them, we also need 30 per minute of the ignium powder. That's what it's called. And the powder itself takes 6 ignium ore per minute to generate 30 per minute. Obviously, we're going to need 7 of these machines, which is going to be 7 times the 6, which is going to mean we're going to need to extend the mine. Now, I was aware of this, so what I did between episodes is I did go down there and extend this mine. This is the one I needed to alter as well to separate the 2 mining machines, which I have already gone down and done as well. Now, in the process of opening this up, I did actually blast out a lot of my components, like a lot of these machines, so I had to rebuild quite a lot down here. I do need to place some lights down here. I forgot how dark it is. Let's get one there, one there, one there, one there, so we can see a bit better. Get some along here. Right, and then here, what I've basically done the same process. See, I've added these distributors in so it merges the cables, rather than just having one feeding in. If one was over full, it would stop the others from being able to feed the line. So all of these will gradually feed the line over time. Done the same with this one, because I had to modify it anyway. And both of these are pumping into these, so we're getting 240 ignium coming up to the ground surface. We've got 120 being used already, which is producing our steel beams, and then we've just got 120 per minute that's now spare that we can use elsewhere, which is going to be perfect for what we require for the smelters, for the grinders. And as I said, we're going to need 7 to create the ignium powder, and the 7 times the 6, you got 30 plus 12, so 42 per minute is what we're going to require. We're going to just do it as an overflow belt, because obviously we're producing 120 per minute. So we're just going to do that as an overflow and just get all 7 machines filled. I'm going to have to do some fancy balancing to do that, because obviously we're going to want it balanced perfectly between the 7 machines. And then I think the central space here is going to be the rest of the components. So I'm just going to go away and get this all situated in place, so we can get these pallets. I'll come back in once we've got the pallets crafting. So I'm probably going to use this space in line with here, bring in the rods across here, have the pallets come out on a back line, and that'll generate the pallets that we require. So I'm going to get to processing those, and I'll be back in just a short moment. Right, as you can see, the backer here is looking a bit over the top. I mean, this now splits the one line into 7 equally, and that way the excess obviously backs around. Now it's all backed up because 1, we've got nothing going anywhere, and 2, I believe the small amount that this requires, it says 6 per minute, so it's probably like 1 per, well, obviously it's 1 per every function, and it only stores 3 functions at a time, so it's only storing 3. So really we could have just had this coming in on 1 full rail, going out to each one of them, because they will have filled up relatively quickly. So there's actually no need for all this, but I'm going to leave it there now anyway. And it was the same with the rods coming in. The rate at which they are required in the second machine is also 1 per craft, which is 3 per minute. So I've got that piped in. I've got the output piping in over here. So as you can see, we've got the pallets being created. Obviously, they've got nowhere to go at the moment until we've got other processes set up. The next thing that we do want to set up then is going to be our plates, machine parts, and we want those converted into the advanced machine parts. So we're going to need 4 crafters crafting machine parts alone, like the normal machine parts. So let's get those set up. There, and final one there. Yeah, so we're going to want 4 of those, but we're actually going to want 5 machines for our wait there 1 sec, let me get these placed in. We're going to actually need 5 machines for our advanced, because we do actually need some extra advanced machine parts, but we don't need a lot of them. So if I come on to here, let's get that set up to advanced, 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 and advanced. Right, and these output at 20 advanced machine parts per craft. Obviously these require 20, so we're going to need 1 craft for each one of these, which will give us the 80 required. But we're also going to need some crafted up for the machine casing. I believe that this one here, yes, so the machine casing, but it only requires 8 per minute, and obviously a craft does 20 per minute, so we're only going to really need half of a craft, which is 20 machine parts per minute and 10 steel beams per minute. And the good thing is we actually have an output of 20 per minute just over here. That's what's actually building up into this storage here. So we can take this line, bring it all the way across here, round here, and feed that straight into this machine here. So we're actually not going to need an extra crafter for machine parts, but just pack those straight into there. It's just going to be a case of getting the steel in. I have brought over a belt of plates. I just put 2 together, so this is a line of 160, I believe. Yep, and we split it down into 4, which gives us 40 plates each line, and the 40 plates is going to be what we put into here to get out 40 machine parts. Now all I need to do is just connect all of these up. So let's get that one there. In fact, we'll just come in and get these straight in. This one will go. Yep, they're all right. Connect this one to there. Oh, I've actually just run out of belts. Let's quickly go get ourselves some belts. We do have a surplus of belts over here as well. Let's grab a few of those. And we need the crafting grid. Keep pressing the wrong ones. Right, so we need electronic components. I believe I've got some in the chest over here, so we'll get some of those crafted up. Yep, anti. And what else was it? Just uses machine parts, which we are running low on. I believe I've got some of those over here as well. Yep, let's get those. So let's craft up as many as those as we can. That'll do us. Let those get crafting. That should craft as we build, so we shouldn't have to stop. Let's get that in. Then we want the inputs. So we want input there, input there, input there, and input there. And those are going to start crafting those machine parts. And then we're actually going to want outputs here. Let's try to keep them all separated. That should work perfectly fine. And then the inputs go on here. Obviously we've got to bring that one across. Also need to put outs in as well. Right, let's go get that pipe turn across here as well. So we're going to want an output. Is that in line with that? It's in line with that. Want that as an output. Then we're going to want our belt there. We want that set to incline. And then we're just going to bring this one all the way over here. Bring it to here. Bring it out this way. We'll insert it into the central point there. We'll turn 90, but then we'll come down, so then we've got to keep jumping up and over these belts. Bring that to there, and then we just need a inserter on there. So that's now getting the machine parts it requires. All these now require is the steel beams. And looking at these steel beams, it actually requires 20 per craft. Obviously we're only getting 10 for the end one because we're only using half the amount of input items. That's 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. Now, with these they do actually generate 30 per minute. So 3 of these will give us the 90. But what I'm going to have to do is split, join these two, split them up between 4, which will give us 15 each. Now we obviously need 20 each. Oh, is there another way that I could do this? Right, what I think I will do is bring these out, join these two together, so that'll be a 60 line. Bring this one out, split it between 3, and join the belt of, well, 2 belts of 20 to this one, which will make that 80 line. And split the 80 line between the 4, which should leave a 10 line. Yeah, so out of the 3, 2 of them will join to this line, and it'll leave a 10 line, which we can bring up to the far one. Now that is going to take some brain power that I wouldn't be able to focus if I was doing it while we're here. So I'm just going to go away, get that sorted, and I'll bring you back in once we've got these all packed in. So I'll be back in just a moment. Right, I've got all this in place then. As you can see, it's quite a belt of lines. So we've got the 2 lines coming off there, they're joining. So we've got your 60 belt here. This is a 30 belt. The 30 belt comes over here and splits into 4. Obviously, 1 feeds back in. So there's 2 10s and then a 10 leading off to the end machine there. We then have the 2 10s here joining into the 60. So you've got 60 into this one, which is then going to be the 50 line. And then we've got a sorry, a 70 line and then an 80 line, and then the 80 line splits down into 4, giving us 20 per one. And then we've got the output just here, which is going to be brought around and into 4 of these machines here. Now, have I got 4? Yes, I have. What I do want to do then now, just before we start, is get these machines situated. So we're going to have them all along here. We'll put a gap in between the 2, same as we've got at the others, so that we'll let them go just in line. And let's get these situated on Science Pack 3s, Science Pack 3, wrong one, Science Pack 3, and Science Pack 3. Right, so then we're going to have the output here. So the output for these is going to be on the large loaders, so the second lane loaders. So this will be output there, output there, output there, and an output there. And these are going to link straight up to here. So that's the electrical components of that are coming in, and then the higher lanes. Ooh, yeah, space-wise. Ooh, we're actually going to have to go 2 up on these ones then, possibly. I'm going to have to craft up some more of those. So these are going to have to go much higher. Ooh, that one won't actually go there because of that device. So it's going to be the same over here, is it? No. This actually came in on the end here. So let's just move everything around. As always, I like to keep things symmetrical. So we'll go there, there, and then we'll go up to there, and up to there. We may actually have a little bit of trouble getting those to feed in. Yeah, because we're going to want to split them, so that isn't actually going to be adequate enough for us. It's a shame these are so large. I suppose we could push it back a couple more rows to get the space that we require. I think that's what we're going to have to do. So let's just take these back for now and put them round about here. So 3 back from where they originally were. That's still going to leave us enough space to get some items in down here, possibly. No, they're going to have to come in 1 more. So be there. There. Get rid of those 2. Yeah, so they're going to have to go in around about there. Let's at least get these in the same place. So that will go there, that will go there. I don't actually need those 2. Go there, that goes there. Let's get rid of those. Yeah, because we're going to need enough space to come up 2. So we come up with those there, and then we'll probably have to go up 2 with those there, which will leave us enough space to get 2 belts in that will be split. Well, we haven't even got to split the belts because it'll just be the individual belts that will be coming out of these machines here. So we'll probably have the first one going straight down to here, second one coming straight over to here, and then the other 2 will probably pass these low here. So if I get the belts, can I have my belts? So we're going to have 1 out to there, 1 out to there, and then 1 there, and the final one will come out 2 to there. Let's bring this all the way across to here. And I think we'll actually bring the furthest ones over the top, because we can bring those up a little higher and the others can pass underneath, so we're not taking up too much room. It's already becoming a large product now. They're actually the wrong way, so we want to go up, up, out 1. This one will just go straight, and this one will be the second belt. This one can be the first belt. This one will line up with this one. This one will come across here there. This one, line up with this one. Then we're just going to pipe in these last ones. So let's bring that one out one. Ooh, we're running out of belts again. Right, yeah, so basically that's going to come out, go across, join in this one. The one at the rear is going to join into this first one here. So I'm going to pipe those in. I'm going to get all the connectors on here. I think I've already got that on. I've got to craft some more of those as well. And then the final thing that we're going to need to craft is going to be the ignium fuel rods, which we've got the pallets. We just need to make the cases, and we also need to create the wire coil as well. But as I said, it's only going to be one machine for this, one machine for this, and I believe the cases is also going to be one machine. Where are the cases? Yeah, and the case is also going to be one machine. So we've got everything else being generated. It's just a case of inputting all the items together to craft those fuel rods. So I'll be back in a moment once I've got the items together, and then I'll bring you back in and we will get the rest of these items all produced together. Right, we've got all that piped in then now, so all these belts are feeding all these machines with the items that we're producing. Now, one thing I did notice as well, it was putting a strain on our power system. It's this one here. So basically, for all the items that you place down that take power from the foundations, they all have their, obviously, limits on how much they can take. And these only output 5 megawatts of power. So their transfer rate into these foundations is 5 megawatts of power. And what we're using here is actually draining more than 5 megawatts. So I've had to just go in, place down a few more of the transformers. So I've got one here. I've got 2 there and 2 there. I must have one somewhere else as well, because it says that we've got transformers of 30 megawatts. So there must be somewhere another one somewhere down on this foundation itself. I'm not too sure where I've placed that. Right, so the final thing that we need to do today then is going to be the production of our the ignium fuel rods, which is going to require all those wire and the rod casings, and we're also going to need to produce the rod casings, which is simply just going to be the steel beams and the advanced machine parts. Right, so the advanced machine parts are actually coming out, will be coming out with this one here. So if we could just jump in there, we can't. We're going to have to go all the way around. Right, so we'll have those come out here. So make sure that's an output. Then we'll have them come straight out in this direction here. So these are the line that is 10. And we're going to place down one of these right here. So let's make sure we're in snap mode. Let's place this here. Try and keep it nice and compact because we have been using a lot of space today. That's an output. So that's an input. Let's get that on input. And bolt that into there. So then we just need a belt of steel. Now the steel is over here. And we're only going to need 10, but for now we're just going to take everything we get out of one. So we need that on output. And we're going to come out. We're going to come out 2, then go right. Then we'll have an up. And this will have to go up again because of the space. Ooh, now I might actually want to move that back a touch, just so we can get the... Ooh, I can't actually pick those up because my inventory is now full. Can't even sort it, so let's just get this belt ready first. So we'll have it come down here. and we're going to need it slowed down twice because it is at a double height. And want it come across to there, and then this one is just going to join up to there. So that's just going to be full bolt-in of steel. So it's going to be a lot more than this machine is going to require. And we actually do have enough space to place down our... Oh no, we don't. We need a 3x3 space. There's definitely nothing that I can drop. Let's get some items placed away. So we'll put some rods away, just so we can take that out of there and get an import on there and an import on there. And let's get that crafting the casings. So I'm going to craft casings at around 8 per minute. And then what we're going to do, we're just going to output those straight over to here. We'll go straight to an input where we'll have that converted straight into the ignium fuel rods. And we're also going to need another input on this side. Park that one there. And then this one. And then what is it these need? These need 2 per minute, which this is going to generate the 8 per minute. So we're going to have these pallets. Let me fill this up. Oh, we're also going to need one in for cable as well. Oh, we could do with sorting out that first. So let's get an output there. We're going to need one more of these. And then what we're actually going to need to bring over is a belt of these right here. So we need a loader, an output. We're going to take this straight up, so let's get that in first. So we won't be able to fit that there. It's going to have to go up twice because of the other items that are currently in the way. It's actually going to have to go up 3 times. Then we'll take this all the way across and above these items here. Let's bring it to there. And actually start to bring that down. Now, are we going to be able to bring that down twice? Yes, we should be able to. And this one's going to have a lot more than it needs on the belt, because it's only going to need... Oh, that actually won't work there. What we can do then, let's move that one. Let's move this over one. So that actually will work to there, just in case if we've got to move this over on space. So that will go there, and this will have a input, and it's going to generate our cable wire coil, and that wire coil is going to be piped straight into the machine here. So we'll have an output straight into there. So that's now getting the cables, and now all it needs is pallets. Let's remove that one. Let's go straight up to here, and we'll actually get a second lane loader on there, so we don't have to put any strange bends in. So that'll be an input, and that'll start loading in those items there. Now we're going to have to get that piped out and brought across to here, and I do actually want to separate it, but I don't think we're going to be able to with the space that we've got available. Yeah, there's going to be no way we can separate those. So we're just going to have to hope and pray that it's going to evenly distribute them over time depending on the speed. If not, I am going to have to move a few things around so we can get that split, so each one is going to get its own individual belt. So let's bring this across to here, and we'll have the belt come out here and go across to here. Then we're going to want an output. Yeah, I've got a feeling that this is going to draw too many items, and it's going to be a bit of a problem for us. So if we have the inputs right there, oh, we need some more of those. And then the outputs, yeah, see, those are going to come in. It's filled 2, and then that one's had some. And that was just the build up, so yeah, it depends really on how fast these are going to produce, on whether it's going to fill them all. I really don't think it's going to either, so I think this is going to be a bit of an issue for us. Yeah, because the speed at which they're coming through, there's a craft about to go through, it's crafted, it's just taking that one off the belt. Yeah, it's got to build up, so I don't think this will work. Yeah, but it's going to have to do for now. So we're going to want some outputs as well to retrieve the items we're crafting, and these are going to be second lane outputs. I'm going to bring this across to here, where we're going to turn it 90 degrees, and then from there we'll go this way and over to here, where we're going to want input. We're also going to want an input there and an output there, and that is generating now the science pack 3s for us. But yeah, I am concerned about this here. It's not really going to do what we want. It's not going to separate the belts enough for us. I don't think there's any way we can get around it. Yeah, I don't think there's any way that we can get around this. We are just stuck with the way this is, just down to the space because of the size of this production that we've got going here. It's quite a large production, so we're just going to have to deal with it and see how well it's producing. It does look like all of them are producing, so maybe it is getting enough items. We'll just have to keep our eye on it. Right, now that is going to do it for today's episode. Obviously we've now got tier 3 research that we can get underway. I think I'm going to instantly start research on the inventory size increase. That one takes the most. But yeah, if you have enjoyed today's video, obviously do feel free to leave a like, and if you haven't already, do feel free to subscribe. Thank you.